dance to this funky Christmas music for the next hour. Like, this is the underwater Mario level in this music.
That's so nice.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm like Bruce Banner.
In what way?
I stay angry.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Oh. You're missing the pronunciation. It's a Drag Race quote.
I almost roped someone into that as a joke, but then I realized like it would be like maybe too real.
What do you?
That you're always angry.
Not myself.
Oh.
That they are always angry.
Exactly. Yeah, it would have been too real. So.
And then Mackenzie was like, "That's not nice to say about my dad."
I'm
mom.
so quiet. I can get loud. I'm just not being. I'm being quiet.
We're warming up. You know.
Yeah, we're right. I'm not in like podcast mode.
Wah, 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 wah.
That's why we needed to dance.
The arsonist had
right.
oddly shaped feet.
Listen, I just turned myself up, so that's too loud. That's on y'all.
It's not too
No, that
loud.
sounds
The
good
Human
now.
Torch was denied
Wall.
a bank loan.
Okay.
Lovely Lily Lax
No,
Luster.
stop it. Stop it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can stop there. All right.
Stop. You've gone far enough.
The toenails are tenacious.
Patrick is quite compared to the others.
He is
Thank you. I am quite.
So
All
quaint.
right.
So demure.
Yes.
Okay, mindful. Yes, listen. I don't know what it's from, but I find myself saying so mindful, so demure.
It's
Lot. But I've never
It's
seen
a
it.
TikTok video of a
Yeah.
lady getting ready for work.
We looked up what demure meant in the sale household just to make sure we were using it correctly. Turns out we absolutely were not.
Oh, nice. The fusing of two metals.
Webster's Dictionary defines demure.
What'd you
Just
do?
I opened my water bottle and I guess there was enough pressure in there that it like arced out down my shirt and onto my shorts.
You're just white knuckling your water bottle right now.
Well, that's terrible.
Okay, that is terrible.
Because we have so little to talk about and so much time to do it. Wait a minute.
Else's
Strike that. Reverse it.
Yes.
Wonka, thank you.
Wonka.
Michael Scott.
Wonka. Michael Scott.
All right.
Very
Anybody
famous.
else's phones update this week to the new iOS?
I do not let mine do it automatically. So
I
no.
don't know. I think mine did.
So for Mackenzie and I, they both updated last night. And as part of the update, you have to choose the voice you want for Siri.
Oh, no, mine has not updated then.
And I saw that, and I just said, skip this step. Like, I'll do it later. Mackenzie, at 1:30 in the morning, like, apparently she woke up at 1:30 and, like, saw the updated run and just clicked through the prompts. Well, when it plays the voices for Siri, when you click Siri 1, it just blasts a guy's voice at 100% volume, going like, the weather in such and such is cloudy, or something like that. And so 1:30 in the
awful.
morning, this dude is just yelling in our bedroom.
And that usually happens at 3 a.m., so you were totally thrown off. Your
Very
whole sleep
bizarre.
schedule was thrown off.
Yeah, Siri has different voices. Have y'all not heard
Your
Siri's
hou-
voices?
Eduardo, your houseboy, typically doesn't come in until dawn, so it was really, really frightening.
I do like
I
the name
have
Eduardo.
put it on other accents before, but and I've heard that they added new voices, but I haven't heard them yet.
What accents did you use or have you used?
I like the Australian one best, so I had
Can you
that
do
for a
it?
long time. Can I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite thing that it would say is directions to my friend's house, and it would say directions to Cat Cobb's home.
Okay, let's see.
Good. That's
Well, I enjoyed it very much.
As the start, the colors of the sky fade with the setting sun.
Can y'all hear that?
your audio
Yes.
is so quiet.
The colors of
The sky fade with the setting sun as the stars begin to shine through the clear night.
I'm doing the wrong
The
way.
man's
It's
voice
fine.
sounded less robotic.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun. as
That's
the
what it
stars
started saying
begin
at
to
1:30 in
shine
the
through
morning.
The colors of the sky
Yeah.
fade with the setting sun.
Oh, here's
The
Australia.
colors of the sky fade with the setting sun.
At Cat Cow's house. Home.
There's a lot. There's like 20 variations or something now.
That's,
I don't know how many there were before, but I know that. Oh, now I have it set on Australia.
The last
I'll
time I
leave it on
checked, there were
Australia.
only like 4, so they've done a good job expanding.
There's a few. Okay, that's enough of that. Now,
I'll
Do they
probably
have
never change
Icelandic?
it. Yeah. For
No.
probably
Do they
for
have
people in Iceland.
do you want me to tell you what they? I don't know if it's different. Do you want me to tell you what they have? This is not on the podcast, so I can tell you. They have American, Australian, British, Indian, Irish, South African, and then within those,
The sky fade with the
they have different versions.
sky fade with the setting sun.
I have a question that I'm looking at myself right now.
Yeah.
My nose looks like it kind of comes to like a little button. Doesn't it look like a Pinocchio nose? Look at it.
You
Right
look
here.
very adorable. No, I see it. Yeah, yeah.
Is
yeah, I
it?
see
Does
what
it
you're talking
always
about.
look like that?
No. But you've had work done recently.
Yeah. I was just.
Yeah. That's what it is. Then it's the
Have you been
work.
telling lies and your Pinocchio nose grew?
It's not longer. It's
I'm just
just like
kidding.
at a nice little like boxy button on the end. I don't hate it. I'm noticing it for the first time.
All right, I'm good to go. Wait, scratch that. Reverse it.
Wonka.
Wonka.
We've already lost listeners. They've come, saw what
How
we
many
had to
times
offer,
can we
and they-
insert that, like, scratch
they-
that, reverse it, Wonka?
Wonka.
This is the drinking game of the night.
Did you see that I snuck a little sip?
I did. I laughed.
Did you see me sneak it?
No, you did.
Apparently, like
Wait, did you really not see it, Patrick?
No.
Not see it. Not see.
I was gonna say I passed your
Definitively no.
self check.
I'm gonna show it in a second when we talk about it, but I snuck a little sippy sip. And I choked on it a little bit
Just a
because
sip.
it went down a little hot. I don't typically drink whiskey neat. I usually put ice in it, and so I felt the Kentucky hug, as they call it,
Yeah.
a little bit more prominently.
By the way, I didn't say this, but Jedi, thank you for the resub. What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late. I was trying to save a dog in the shelter. Does
Oh, I
this
hope
mean
the
you got a
dog's
new
okay.
dog? Is that what that means? And then Andrew, thank you for your resub. It's the least you can
I
do.
have it's I'm trying to figure out a way to make that sentence funny. It's not. It's just nice.
Just
Way
hopefully
to go.
the dog's okay.
Yeah, good
Way to
job, man.
go, Jedi.
Good things. All
I
right.
saw a photo of Jedi and his lovely lady sipping drinks out of their tiki mugs yesterday or this morning, and it was all festive. And I thought, I enjoy that guy. And then I remember we were podcasting, and I thought we might see him. Then we did. So we've come
So
Come full circle.
that's
full
it.
circle.
You know, my whole environment would look a lot better if that Christmas tree was sitting here.
Instead of
At
the
least you get the
unicorn,
reflection.
the unicorn head pop.
Whatever.
Oh, I
Could be
could do
perfect.
Christmas in here. Yeah, let's do
could.
Christmas.
Yeah, in fact.
Let's do Christmas.
Let's do Christmas.
Christmas time is Christmas time. Christmas time.
No, it's.
Is that a song?
Is it gonna
Pretty
take you a minute to
specific
set
time,
that up?
actually.
No, I'm just
There you
searching
go.
Christmas on
I got
the
you. Is
Hugh
this better?
scenes.
Is this helpful?
Oh, you meant on that. I thought you meant like you're gonna decorate your bedroom for Christmas.
No,
This
no,
isn't Christmassy at all.
No, it's not.
It's hard to say.
How in the world is Christmas not at the very top of the Hugh scene gallery right now? It's still Halloween. Are you kidding me?
Wait, was what from Community Crider?
We've just lost the thread.
It's fine.
I can't.
Let's all wait for this to happen. All right. Christmas. Andrew, did you see the wallet I sent you today?
Where'd you send it? On Slack?
I did send it on Slack.
I did not
Crider
see
wants
it
to
on
know
Slack.
if you were singing a song from Community just then.
I don't know that I was. Maybe.
Okay, fostering a dog. That is very kind, Jedi. Jedi, what type of
Yeah.
dog is it? All right, Andrew.
This
Feel
isn't
free
Christmas.
to add pictures of
It's
the
not
dog.
Christmas. Christmas isn't even showing up when I search the scenes, so I don't know if there's something, if I need to update my hue or what the heck's going on, but
That seems
stupid.
close enough. I see
It's
red and
fine.
green.
It's
All
fine.
right, let me share this for
Teal
you
and
real quick.
pink. which
It's
is-
close.
It's on the spectrum.
Let me show this. Okay, so this is what I was saying. So Bear Goods, they're doing.
that's cool.
Does it not remind you? I sent it to use the NABC wallet, but
Okay, Patrick,
yes, yes, yes.
somebody bought this exact wallet for Drew because they said it looked like NEBC.
That's hilarious.
Drew owns this wallet presently.
That's funny.
Okay, so the idea is that Bear Goods, Bear County being the county I believe San Antonio's in, but it's in Texas. Bear Goods makes really nice leather goods, and in fact, if y'all remember on the podcast, I got a wallet. In
Wait,
got it.
bring that back up real quick.
I'm gonna bring it back up, but I'm gonna. I have to take my ID out of it, but I got a wallet. That y'all got.
Oh,
y'all
yeah,
had
yeah, I remember that, a
Squatch
long
put
time
on the
ago.
inside of. This is obviously reversed, and this is
Backwards,
a Bear
it looks
Goods.
like
The
it
Woody
says
one.
hot sauce.
It says hot sauce. But this wallet, that's funny. I almost flashed your credit card. This wallet is. I was going to show you how it all. Like over time, how it. This is actually the
How it
original
weathers.
wallet. So like.
You got to make
this,
that one bigger.
This is what it is right now. Is that? But it started as this. But this was the wallet I got on the podcast. because
Yellow
of the-
I
leather.
remember this. Yeah, it's a really cool wallet.
It looks like a Woody or whatever. But anyway, they're doing a sale right now. So this wallet is $66, and then that's also where I saw
Yeah,
this wallet.
hold on that screen for just 1 second. I'm
Yes.
going to send this to Drew and let him know that you just sent that to me. That's really funny.
Can't have
But,
the same wallet.
Andrew, where he works, they have a topography design. They work in the background
Yeah.
of a lot of their like signage and
Yeah, that's
print
kind of
and,
our
like,
yeah.
web and
that's
other
that's kind of
elements.
our texture that we apply to most of our branding. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of their brand colors include blues. So seeing the blue and seeing the topography, it looks like it's something that Andrew would have made. When I sent that to you earlier today. And when it wears in, it might actually wear more into your colors.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
that's true. Yeah, because it would darken into the. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
So that's all. But Bear Goods is a cool place if you're looking
Very
for
nice.
a wallet. Definitely recommend it. So, Husky. Oh, I thought you were describing me. You were saying the dog you were fostering. I got it. I miss you.
That's a
Husky.
Big
That was like your
and very
nickname
energetic
for me.
dog.
Okay.
All right, are we ready to do it?
Yeah, I'm
Do
ready
it?
to do it. In fact.
Oh, I didn't awaken evil. I left the. Damn.
Oh no.
I knew something was amiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't smell
for
right.
sure.
Something didn't smell right. Let's clap in 3.
I miss Luke.
I do too. I thought about that yesterday, actually. Not because we don't like you, Lauren.
Yeah, I know. I don't know Luke the way you guys do.
Obviously,
so I
mine
have
was
to
because
say.
of. I want to be clear. Mine was because of the smell comment. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. 3 and 2 and 1 and.
I'm gonna work that into this episode. All right, go ahead.
Okay, good. That's good. Welcome to episode 572 of the Pop Culture Roundtable, the podcast that's not only defying gravity, but also the odds. In this episode, we talk about deception, murder in Hong Kong, the history of video game controllers, and Wicked. I'm Andrew Sale.
I'm Lauren Rubin.
I'm Patrick Hill.
So click those slippers together 3 times, because it's time for another episode.
There's no place like here.
Rome.
Rome?
I heard a really good, like, instead of calling
My
it like
initial thought
Glicked,
was
because
too.
that's kind of stupid, call it No Place Like Rome. The like double feature of Glicked,
see,
or
okay.
sorry, Gladiator and Wicked.
I can't wait to talk about this.
Get into
Yeah.
the episodes. Let's talk about that first. Go ahead.
Yeah, here we go. We like to kick off every episode by talking about something controversial in terms of movies. Patrick, you...
Lauren, not Patrick. Lauren, what did you just say?
I said there's been alternative names instead of saying Glicked for the combination viewing of Gladiator 2 and Wicked, and one of the ones that I heard was No Place Like Rome.
Which I do think is better than.
It's funnier, but it is
It's better
long-winded.
than Glicked.
Yeah.
You think of like Jiminy Glick or whatever. However, this idea of trying to make fetch happen is like. I'm sorry.
Can we pause for like let's take one step back even from this. What the hell does that mean? I've heard
No
it
one
said like 3
knows.
times in the last like couple weeks. What does making fetch happen mean?
No one knows, but here's
It's
the
like
point.
Mean Girls.
Yeah, it's from Mean Girls.
Never seen it.
Me neither, but I still know that. Okay.
Well, yeah,
Here's the
you have to watch
thing.
Mean Girls. There's so many quotes that will be illuminated for you.
Is that where the get in losers comes from?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I do say that one.
understand
The limit does not exist. There's so many Mean Girls quotes all the
They
time.
want
Yeah.
they want Barbenheimer to happen. I get
Yeah.
from
Oh,
a
yeah, I get-
from a
yes.
marketing standpoint they want it. But they're not going to get it. And you're especially in my opinion, you're especially not going to get it with a second installment of an existing property. That's the
No.
other piece.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's
I think
not
the only
one.
thing that they had in common is that they're like picking up the thread from 20 years ago. Like both of them are picking up something that existed like long
But
before these movies.
Trying
Like, yeah.
to, as a marketing team to wedge that into the conversation,
No.
it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I have so many thoughts that I'm peeling my face off because I don't want to begin this episode as negative Nancy.
Do it.
Negative Norman. Negative Norman. Gladiator 2 was so bad.
Yes.
It doesn't
yes.
even matter if it was
I-
good or
Yeah.
bad. Like you're talking about Barbie, and which was kind of the surprise that, this is a throwaway joke. Oh wait, it's actually very good. And then of course all the cultural issues around it, and then you're talking about this like acclaimed epic from this huge director, and these two landing on the same day, and then being polar opposites of films. Like all of these things combined to create this grassroots thing. The marketing teams didn't try to do it. It was a purely
No,
a
it was-
grassroots thing
yeah.
that happened. And now people are trying to recapture that. And again, you're not going to recapture it. You're absolutely not going to recapture a Gladiator 2. I don't.
All of that is true.
Yes.
Also true is that Gladiator 2 was trash.
I was like, also true that I did
So
go
bad.
see both on the same day. And I do agree that Gladiator 2 is not very good.
You also did Barbenheimer though, right?
Yes, I did.
But
I was smart. I took like a
enjoyed
break in
Barbenheimer.
between. I didn't walk from like one theater to the next. I went and got lunch in between.
We literally
We
we left
just
the
both.
credits and walked straight over to that one. But
Yeah.
the reason why this movie is not good is it is basically the same movie as the first movie, but just
Not as good.
poorer. It's
Yeah.
poorer because it's not as
I
rich.
think-
The storytelling.
I think
nearly as
that
rich.
my like quick summary of what doesn't work about Gladiator 2 is that it's too much style over substance, whereas the first movie has both. There are huge, awesome fight spectacles, but it's told together with a really good story. This one is just really insane fights. They just escalate in the craziness. There's no reason for them to happen in between each other. There's not like something he learns in the fight that helps later, like happens in the original Gladiator. It's just like
The only
ramping up for nothing. Like
The only redeeming thing for me is when he goes, "This is Sparta," and he kicks the guy
Kicks
into
guy
the well.
big pit.
I
so
had fun
that's the
watching
only
it,
thing
but like it's just like a lot of nonsense. Like I was just sitting there like, oh wow, the whole time, and then when it was done, I was like, that was insane, but doesn't make any sense. Like,
Was there a gratuitous saliva scene?
yes, because I went to the 4DX theater by mistake, and they like shoot water at you and stuff, and there's definitely
No, you didn't.
yes,
That's
I
it,
did this
that
by
exists?
accident because
Why
I
does that
purely
exist?
I purely picked this based on the showtime so I could do both movies, and so I didn't look that close that it was 4DX. So that means the seat like shakes around when they're like riding on a boat or a horse or anything's happening. There's just shaking you around. There's like a massage chair, but it like punches you when they get punched, and like
What
water
happens
splashes
during
at
sex
you.
scenes?
I don't know.
Like, what
it
the
wasn't
heck?
enough.
Oh,
They have like air that like blows past your like
Hold on,
ears
hold on.
basically and stuff like
Let's-
that. Like every time arrows were shot, that would happen.
Sounds like you were at Who Shrunk the Audience.
need
I
to
felt
pause
like
for
I
a
rode a
second.
roller coaster for 2.5 hours, like watching this movie.
I need to pause for a second. So, do you feel like you're on a horse when, from the camera perspective, you as the viewer are on the horse? Or when you see someone on a horse, does it just mimic you're on the horse, even though you're watching it?
They would follow, like, okay, that's a great question. So they would
Thank
do
you.
a couple things. They would pan, like, if the camera went this way, they would make your seat go this way. So, but also the horse would be like, ba-dum, like,
Nothing to do with this.
like you can only move like this way and then like forward a bit and stuff like
It
it's
doesn't
very-
rotate. Doesn't
No,
rotate.
no,
Just
no.
Okay.
But it
This
did
sounds
like but it
annoying.
would like slide you a little bit when the camera like moves and stuff. Like it was honestly very
Did
funny
it?
to me because I didn't know like to expect that, nor had I ever done it before. And I was like, what a weird movie to have done this for. Probably the best choice ever because like in the scene with like the boats and stuff, like it's trying to move like they're like you're on the water and stuff.
Did it enhance the film for you?
For pure comedy, yes. Like honestly, I was laughing a lot because of like they would just like
I don't think that
it was just such a strange situation that I was just like, this is ridiculous.
That's
I
like-
can't believe someone would like normally pay to watch a movie this way. And like,
That's like us going to see Old and us and the audience laughing by the end of the movie, realizing
no,
like,
everyone was laughing. This was not just like me alone. Like
Exactly,
it was
but
so
my point-
ridiculous.
that's my point. Neither one of these movies are intended to be funny.
To
So
have the laughter.
if the stuff made you laugh, then I would say no, it did not enhance the film.
Did they
It
give you
absolutely
coconuts?
diverted.
Okay, no, like it didn't enhance the film, but for me personally, it did make it entertaining. Like,
That's different. Were you
Yeah.
entertained, which is ironic. Were
I know,
you
I know.
entertained is a different question than did it enhance the film?
yes, so by the end of the movie, I was entertained, but then as soon as I left the theater, I was like, "Wow, that was kind of stupid."
you do it again?
But I was like, all the stuff was very distracting. You
I'm so impressed by it.
gotta try it out.
I would use my soundboard, but last time I did that, it got me stuck
Click,
on
clock,
chipmunk
click,
voice.
clock, click, clock.
Yeah.
That's as fast as I can go.
You can do better than that, Patrick. Come on.
Can't.
Okay. All right. So that's
Do you know what I have nightmares about?
what?
Lauren
4DX
asking
theaters.
me what my
What your Rome was? What's your Roman Empire is?
Yeah.
You just
just
start
haunts you.
sweating. You wake up in cold sweats. You've urinated yourself.
Well, now you can say Gladiator 2.
Okay. Did you ask me a question?
No, I was just saying, let's get started in the episode.
This
I
totally
think
counts.
we're
we're
fully-
well into it. We did the intro.
Totally. We're fully
we're
in.
there.
We're
We're
fully
there.
into the around the table. Patrick, what else did you do for your Thanksgiving? Besides not see the films that we just talked about.
He actually like hung out with family and like,
Well,
had a
so
really
because-
nice
Sat
normal
in parking
Thanksgiving.
lots.
Because we only podcast once every 2 weeks, people don't know this. We podcasted last time, and in the podcast, he
Oh
was talking
yeah,
about
I forgot about this.
Andrew was talking about his 40th, and we joked that like I've been there the whole time and things like that. I'm gonna be honest, people listening, Andrew gave me kind of sad vibes a little bit. So after we recorded that, I booked a flight to Texas.
After we hung up after the episode ended, that's when the sad vibes came.
Right.
That's
but
when I
I'm
was like,
saying,
I'm actually sad that you're not here. I'm missing having you in town. Yeah.
So
Aw.
I got off the call, booked a flight to Texas. This is like 10 o'clock at
12
night.
hours later.
Get up at 4 a.m. to go to the airport, fly to Texas. Had to stand in a rental car line forever because there was some like SpaceX launch and all these people had rented cars and it took so long to get to the airport. But then I managed to literally walk in the door the exact same minute that Andrew's work was also celebrating his birthday. It was not planned. It
Super felt
completely
planned.
Not planned.
That's
So
so
it
funny.
felt so planned that when Patrick walked in, Becca said, well, several people went, surprise! And I looked at Becca instead of looking at the door. And I'm like, what? Why are you yelling surprise? And everyone's yelling surprise. And then I turn and people are clapping. And I turn and look over and Patrick's standing there. And I was so confused. I was like, when did work pay to bring? Like, what is like, it was so weird. I felt like everybody was in on this thing. That wasn't the case. It's just they were all excited to see Patrick and they understood that was a meaningful thing. But was so weird. There was like a 30-second
That's so
delay
funny.
in my brain of like, what's happening right now? This
Yeah.
feels really strange.
I was going out of my way to not show up. I didn't want to make.
You're trying to be inconspicuous.
I didn't want to make a to like
Impossible.
not a to do. What's the word? I wasn't trying to make a thing out of it. Like
I think
I
fetch
wanted,
is what you're looking for.
I didn't want to make a fetch out of it, and
You
so
don't make it about you. is what
I
you're
was
to
trying
say.
to get there because my plane landed like an hour and a half before this was supposed to happen. So I thought I'll get the rental car, go there, see him. We'll hang out for a bit. I'll do his little party thing, whatever. It just so happened that it was starting at 1, and I walked in the door at like 1. It was like on the dot. Like
It was literally right when it was happening.
That's awesome.
But I was there for a week. Got to play some disc golf, and I think other than seeing Andrew, which was of course great, and getting to celebrate his birthday, we went and played this place called the Flying Armadillo, which is in San Marcos, Texas. I did not find out about this till after the fact, but the Flying Armadillo is like a top 40 or top 30, like most want to play course on UDisc, which is a very big community and a big app for tracking your play. I didn't find out that it existed after I left. So when we came back, we went up there to play, and they have 2 courses. They have the big course, which they happen to be having a college tournament that week.
Yeah.
So we got to play the big course, and there were college players out there, very kind people. Andrew met some wonderful guys. And after we played the big course, but then we also played, and this is the course people come there to play, the disc golf putt-putt style disc golf course. So
Where there's like obstacles and stuff.
yeah, so everything's a par 2. Everything's very short. It's compact, but you're supposed to like bank the shots off signs, and like baskets are buried in the ground, or you've got to throw through hoops into like a big silo, or it's just all these
Throw
fun-
around a large
Sounds like
dinosaur
miniature
statue.
golf, but with with
That's what.
disc
That's
golf,
exactly
yeah.
what it is.
completely, and it was a blast. I think we played between the big course and putt and playing some extra stuff. We played like 40 different holes before we were finally like, okay, we have to leave. Like we can't be out here anymore. But but every minute of it was
for a long time.
Every minute of it was awesome.
And the
So,
day was so nice. It was
Yeah.
like perfect weather for it. Oh gosh, it was so good.
yeah.
It was really
awesome.
So that was probably in terms of what we did on that trip. For me, I think that time was a highlight.
Yeah.
And then totally got sick on the last day I was there. By the time my plane landed, did not feel great in Chattanooga. Woke up the next morning, felt terrible, drove to Ohio. So I land back in Chattanooga from Texas. Within 12 hours, I'm in a car on the way to Ohio. And then I spent all of Thanksgiving kind of on the edge of being sick. Got to see some
Dang.
snow and a bunch of people skidding off the road on the way back. Finally glad to be back home. So Thanksgiving, I would say, was mostly it was good, but it was like it was what we thought it was. It was like pretty chill. So I think the real excitement was Flying Armadillo.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's good.
awesome.
It's crazy because I didn't even think about the fact that people didn't know that, because that happened
right
after we stopped
Yeah.
recording. And yeah, no, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay. Well, Lauren, what about you? How did your Thanksgiving go?
Good. It's been a long time now, I feel like, because we do this every other week. I was away for my work retreat. That was cool. Thanksgiving was good. The highlight for me was the chef there where we ate made the stuffing with focaccia bread. And let me tell you, that is a game changer. So
didn't-
good.
You didn't cook?
I didn't cook. I didn't get I was outvoted.
I want to say that this is wild to me only because you throw movie parties and make 20 different things for movie parties. Like basically the scale
I wasn't
of
hosting,
Thanksgiving.
so I didn't get to choose. And I was also sick on Thanksgiving, so no one way to cook.
Wins.
Yeah.
That's great.
I wish I could have, but I will say I will be making the stuffing like this from now on with focaccia bread because damn, it was so good. Like I think stuffing's really
Would you
good
say
anyway,
it
but it was
caught you
so
off
good.
guard?
Focaccia off guard.
Focaccia, yeah, sure.
Like, it was like, oh, gotcha.
Yeah, basically. I was like
Wow.
eating it and I'm like, what's different?
Why
And
didn't
then they told me and I was like, this is really a game changer. Truly, I will never make stuffing ever the same again because it was so good. But other than that, my I mentioned this.
The timing was so good on that.
Yeah,
You'll fix it in post. It's fine.
don't worry. Yeah. So after I got back, I did take time to do the whole Gladiator 2 and Wicked Day. It was very fun. I know we're going to talk more about Wicked later, and I'm very excited to do that because I love Wicked. I also, on the same day as all of that, got up super early because I couldn't sleep and watched the end of Arcane. All of season 2 is out now, and this is truly like we are in like just heaven of good media right now. Like, gosh, like I can't believe that since last time, like this whole like season is over now, but like it was so freaking good. I love that they did
I'm
the
not done
like,
with the season. Just
okay,
so
I'm
we're
not going to
clear.
spoil anything. Just like I love that they did it in like 3 little drops to kind of like extend the longevity of this like amazing show because like it is only 2 seasons for this like absolutely just masterpiece TV show and like just I'm glad that they did it for me so I didn't have to be disciplined enough to try and wait to watch this because I think like having it in the little parts like also like so much happens. There's just a lot of time to digest each of the acts and like all of the parts because I tried to write a summary for like how to like sell this show, but it's kind of impossible because there's so many stories happening at the same time. Like the official summary for the show is only set in utopian Piltover and the oppressed underground Zon. The story follows the origins of 2 iconic League of Legends champions and the power that will tear them apart. That's not a good summary of the show in any form.
That's only one storyline.
I know, but I'm like, that is kind of like the most overarching storyline where it's like the Piltover versus Zon stuff, I guess, is like, it's on track for what I would, if I had to make a like 1-2 sentence summary. That's a really tough one for this show because every inch of it is like considered and part of the show and like just immaculate. Like we've talked about it before, but like just now that it's over and like we know that like this little arc has ended, it's just like, bravo, you guys. Like they just really just hit such a home run. And I don't feel like anything else is like doing stuff like this. Like they just, everything is so well done. Like the character designs, the world building, the story, the acting, the
animation,
the animation, like they're just really like on this other level that like now other TV shows are going to have to like get up to. Cause man,
it's honestly for me, it feels like it is akin to, or it's at least, you know, adjacent to how we felt when Spider-Verse first came out.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
it's that same vibe, that same kind of storytelling, dynamic acting, dynamic music. Like the soundtrack.
Yeah, I was gonna
is
say we have to
just
talk about the
so
soundtrack.
Good.
Yeah.
And then the animation style and the character design and just the uniqueness of it, and like the maturity of it, right? Like it doesn't feel like an animated show in the way that like it's not a cartoon. There's nothing cartoony about this.
I would say it's like the best animated show ever, but I feel like that's too limiting. It's one of the best shows I have ever seen.
It's just
yes,
really
like,
good
period.
storytelling.
It's so good. I like few things have like stuck the landing, I think, this well, like have stuck like just from beginning to end, just like had their foot on the gas and never let up for a second, and it never felt like
it's like this
weak
and Game
point.
of Thrones.
Yeah, maybe beginning Game of Thrones, like 1 through 4.
Well,
but yeah,
you can't have the beginning of Game of Thrones stick the landing.
No, it doesn't. Like
by
but
definition, it derailed. But this
exactly.
This
but I
feels
think
good.
I'm very excited to hear that like now that this story is over, that they've already planned on doing spin-offs, which I assumed was definitely the case. But now it's like official that they've got at least like 3 in the works, which I think is awesome. And the thing is like all the characters are so well done and so interesting that like even if they're a character that I don't agree with or is a bad guy or whatever, I'll follow their story. Like depending on whatever they want to do next, I'm just in. Like the tickets are sold. I'm riding this train to the end of the line. Like you can't, like, it's just so freaking good. So like, I have seen like way more people have seemed to be catching on to the show now that season 2 is out. But really, really like if you have not checked this show out, make time to watch this one. It's not that long. Like I think altogether it's like, I don't know. It's probably like less than 7 hours, like all of it together, because it's like 30-minute episodes, like 9 episodes each. Like it's totally like it's just so good and so wonderful. Check out Arcane if you have missed this boat.
There are some episodes that are like 41 minutes. It might be a little
Yeah.
longer than that. You might need to dedicate 11
A whole
or 12
day,
hours to it.
yeah, or like get a weekend, and it's but like man, you like I've convinced a lot of people to check out the show this time, and like everyone has been like, thank you for telling me about this because it's so freaking
Yeah,
good.
I wonder, Patrick, would you? I know we typically say skip it if it's animated or anything, but would you be down? Because this is, I think the story actually does kind of transcend the medium, and the medium is so kind of dynamic. It's not. We're not asking you to watch Pokemon, right? Like we're not asking you to watch a Ghibli movie. But this is kind of like something new. You did like Spider-Verse though, didn't you?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think you would
that's
actually like this show.
I mean, I'd love it. I think everyone should at least give it a try. It's absolutely
Is
wonderful.
this not the sequel to The Magicians?
It is.
I
Yeah.
wish it was.
Well, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
It's a prequel
Yeah.
to The Magician.
The Magicians. Okay, got it.
There is magic in it.
It's a prequel to Wicked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, it's just absolutely a wonderful show.
yeah.
Arcane
I'm
is on
excited to finish
Netflix.
it.
Yeah.
excited to
Just please check it out. If anybody wants to talk about it, I am here to hear everything because I love this show. I think it's amazing.
Well, you did kind of pitch this idea off air that we do like like an Arcane like
Yeah,
just an
like,
episode where
I would
we
love
just
to. I
sit
feel
and,
like it's too
round
soon.
table it.
Yeah.
So maybe in a couple weeks we can round table it and we can have another member join the conversation either in addition to Patrick or in without Patrick if
In
Patrick
lieu
doesn't
of,
want to.
maybe
In
Yeah.
lieu of maybe. But
In
we
honor?
we can have a discussion about that.
Yeah.
Who?
In memory.
In honor of Patrick. Yeah, in memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
In memoriam.
Yeah.
Perfect. Of Patrick. That would be fitting for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I do have to say, speaking of in memoriam, and as the resident Bravo aficionado, we have to say, rest in peace, Vanderpump Rules. We knew ye well. Oh, it is tragic. The show has
The
pretty
old
much been
cast
canceled
got
now.
replaced, right?
Yeah, like whole wipeout. Like it's exactly like they did with Real Housewives of New York City. Like none of the cast is staying. Whole new slate, and they're calling it the same show. It's not going to be the same.
But I guess I don't understand the timing of it because they're kind of coming off this high of what I'm assuming are some of the best watch numbers they've had
Yeah.
for any of their programs, just in the wake of the whole like Scandival. So why
I
now?
have several theories, but it's just like there's been a lot of rumors going around anyway. Because normally they would have already filmed the whatever would have been the next season because they film in the summer and they didn't. So that was like number one red flag. And then it's also like they almost canceled the show last season, or like this was the same rumor basically at the exact same time last season. And they like because of the Scandival stuff, it kind of got like they like renewed interest. So they're like, okay, one more. But
Don't
it
you
was
think- Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought. Yeah.
and then like the third part of it is that there was supposedly a lot of like trouble negotiating the contracts for this next season and what everyone would get paid because especially then like knowing it would really be the last season. They were going to try and I think milk this cow for everything it's worth.
I think to me that's going to be the answer, especially because all these people are starting to get other opportunities. They don't feel like they have to have the show.
Well, it's just so irritating because like in the last season they like broke the fourth wall and like Lala screaming at Ariana about how like you're taking money out of my like food out of my baby's mouth because you're getting our show canceled. And it's like you did, honey.
Yeah. But I think it's absolutely going to be contract negotiations and a couple
Yeah.
people, and I can probably guess which ones were going to want a lot of money to come back.
Yes.
And
And then I think that they were trying to probably have a contract signed that said like Ariana has to film with Sandoval and everything, and like I don't think they would probably agree to that at this point either, because
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
that was a
it's
big
money.
issue during the last season. So
yeah.
but
I mean, I'm fine to see it go. I'm surprised by the timing, and I'm sure there was a bit of biting the hand from some of those people. Obviously, some of the people are fine without the show, but
it's just like it is like the end of an era. Like I fully like this was not a surprise to me, but I am a little bit sad because it was just always one of the trashiest best shows ever on reality TV.
at least half of that description was correct.
Yeah. Southern Hospitality wishes they were as good, but they try.
You know what? Now that you say it, I actually think that they're trashier.
They are.
I
They just
can't
cloak
watch it.
Hundred
it.
percent.
They cloak
Because-
it in sweet sounding colloquialisms like bless your heart.
I was like, I actually think that Southern Hospitality is worse because they had Vanderpump Rules as their like Vanderpump Rules didn't know they were Vanderpump Rules. These guys are trying to do it. You know, like they were
Yeah.
like
This is
tornadoes
they're
on
Gladiator
like,
2.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
They were like hot messes all on their own. They didn't need encouragement. And
I
then these,
absolutely
like they're trying to copy
have.
it. Yeah.
What are you saying? I haven't seen the show. I've absolutely seen the show. Mackenzie's trying to say that I
Yeah.
haven't seen the show. I have.
Are you thinking of Southern Charm and not Southern Hospitality? Because
Yes,
they're both
I
bad
am.
shows.
I'm 100%
Yeah.
There's
thinking of
two
Southern Charm.
shows. Nope. I'm
Yeah,
not
Southern
engaging. I'm not
Hospitality is
engaging.
literally the one like in a restaurant, just like Vanderpump Rules.
No,
Southern
I take
Charm
it
is
back. I've seen Southern
yeah.
Charm. Southern
Charm
is
is
trashier.
I don't even know how to explain what the premise of that
Trashier.
show is. Yeah,
The-
trash. Yeah.
The issue is they have money and they leverage their money to be trashy. Like Vanderpump.
Yeah. Yes, this is
somehow-
true. It's rich Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah. But I'm saying somehow the fact that they have money. Look, I expect people to exploit themselves for money, but when you have money and then you do it, that somehow seems trashier.
It is.
You should
Like-
not watch Selling Sunset.
Like, man. Like
Did
all
you
the
see
dudes on
JT
Southern
quit?
Charm are
What's
the worst.
What? So I'll cut this out. It doesn't matter. What JT
Oh,
quit?
I
What's
did
this?
see that JT quit. I don't know why yet, but I hate JT, so goodbye.
I know, get out of here, Jonathan
He
Taylor.
tries too hard. He's like, no one likes JT.
Okay, you're right.
I was
Mackenzie,
really
haven't
bummed that in
seen
the
it.
trailer they showed that he was dating Vanita because I like her. And I'm like, girl, no.
So that's-
Yeah, you're
that's
like,
what
but Anita needed that to stop. I don't know.
I-
I don't even have to edit that one. That was close enough. I miss
okay,
Luke.
But yeah. All right, Andrew, it's your turn.
that's it. Okay, a few things. I had so I turned 40, and wouldn't you know it, on my birthday, someone showed up. I'm gonna give you the precursor to the story, and then I'm gonna let you try to guess. No, so that happened, and then I also hosted for my Whiskey and Wise group, and the book that I chose was S, and we've talked about that before. But the book that's kind of the novel inside of that is The Ship of Theseus, and we got a couple of we got a guy in the group who gives a gift to whoever hosts that month, and so this was the gift that he gave me. It is a ship in a bottle.
Oh, cool.
And
Cool.
he took like the branding and stuff that I did of it, and he like, very crudely branded this thing.
That's
But
awesome.
even on the cork, he put the Whiskey
Oh,
and
that's
Wise logo
awesome.
on the cork. And I thought, oh, that's fun. Like he said that this because I gave them a challenging book. He was going to give me a challenge and some homework to have to go through. I was like, okay, cool, that's fun. I'm going to put this together real quick tomorrow and share a picture with the guys. So the next day, took the pieces out. Oh, I'm not going to do this quickly.
I was like, what gave you the impression it was going to be super easy?
legitimate? Well, the box just kind of seems like it's maybe just kind of like
For kids.
like a kid's. It's not. You need physical tools. You need to drill things. You need
Oh my gosh.
specific grade sandpaper. You need all sorts of stuff. You need specific kinds of glue and it's gonna be a task.
Super
but,
long tweezers. Do you have to
you need-
assemble
you
it
need
in
lo-
the bottle?
Does
You
that
have
not
to-
come in there?
No,
They should give you the
the
tweezers.
tools do not come with it.
Wait, is that kit just a bottle?
It's just
In
a
a
bottle.
boat?
I've
In a
got,
bunch
I've
of-
got a whittle.
You've got a little
Um,
what?
The boat. I see what you're saying. I've got. That's good. I've got to like trim like tiny pieces of balsa wood and tiny like rods and stems, and I've got to assemble them that way, and then. Once I put the boat in with the mast and everything kind of collapsed this way, and there's a string that runs through the whole. It kind of runs up and through all of the different mizzen and sails and like all those things like that. And then once you get it in place, once you get the boat in place, then you reach in with the tweezers and you pull the string, and it goes and it goes taut. And that's kind of how
Seems
you get
really
the
hard.
sails going there. And like, I read the instructions. I'm like, this is legit. So I'm gonna have to take some time to do that. So maybe
A month from now.
yeah, we'll see how we do it.
I
but
also got a ship, by the way. That's fun. I didn't even think to bring it in here.
You have a ship. Did you
A
get
ship in a bottle?
Did you get the Intrepid or whatever?
The Endurance.
The
Lego
Endurance.
Black Friday set that dropped. Because I told you
Oh.
I went to the mall on Black Friday
Yes.
instead of seeing a film.
Mm-hmm.
And to comfort myself, I went to the Lego store. I didn't know they were dropping anything. I guess they always do on Black Friday. And they had one left, and so I bought it.
That's
Are you
awesome.
gonna build it
Have
or
you
sell
assembled
it?
it yet?
No, I haven't even opened the box. It's just I've been really busy. And
Oh, because you would have been in Ohio.
and I didn't want to start in
Yeah.
Ohio, and then work is really busy today and tomorrow. So I'll probably tomorrow night I'll start on it. Yeah.
That's awesome. The end of the the whole deal is you have to pick different whiskeys.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of different whiskeys. I had some like nautically themed whiskeys and things like that.
Water.
But yeah, it's just water. But the final whiskey, because the book is a book about books with like multiple stories inside of it, and it's about a writer. Becca helped me find this whiskey. It is called Hemingway Rye. And this is like the signature, a signature blend. And if you look, the rye, they are typewriter letters. Like they're
Oh, that's
dimensionally
cool.
dimensional letters. Such a cool bottle of
Yeah.
whiskey. And this is the one that prior to or at the beginning of the episode, I swigged neat. It's a 102 proof. It's a rye whiskey. But it was a hit that night as well. I don't know why I'm hiccuping and burping now. I didn't drink it recently, but
Just thinking about the whiskey makes
I'm
you feel
thinking
drunk.
about it.
Yeah.
It's making me, yeah. But it was cool that night. We did like these puzzles because it's a mystery, and I did this puzzle with them where they had to like take all these scattered letters and put it like an equation together to figure out, basically to decipher what this final whiskey reveal was going to be. And it was cool. They all engaged in it. But I also interviewed the author of the book, and I did a full length interview and then cut it down to about 20 minutes to play for that night for the guys. He lives in San Marcos, like right down the road from the Flying Armadillo, ironically. And so we might end up hanging out with him. He wants to maybe start his own chapter of Whiskey and Wise. So that's pretty much what we did. I did also get Becca's mom was in town for a few days, and she got me an advent calendar, and it's a fun advent calendar that has these little guys. Let's see if I can get it to focus.
Arr.
There we go.
That's what they say, right? That's the catchphrase.
Yeah. Yes. These are die-cast Ninja Turtle toys. So there's
That's
24 die-cast little Ninja Turtles, and this Michelangelo has a Santa hat on and is a foot soldier. We're only on day 2. But there's 24 little die-cast figures. So
When
that's
it's over, you can have like a like a D&D, but with
exactly, but just of Ninja Turtles. That's it. I'm sure other things happened as well, but for now we'll save those for another day, or you can just read my diary. I still have my live journal up on the internet, so you
That's
just gotta find it.
admirable.
I think I finally.
I never want to see my live journal ever
nuked
again.
mine. Yeah.
My Zanga page is also. I keep my Zanga
Also
page
had
up.
one
to
of
date.
those.
I had one of those. I remember my usernames, but I don't even want to know if they exist.
I had an Arrested Development theme that at the bottom right of the page said, it said the line of, a trick is, what's the line from Arrested Development?
It's an illusion, Michael.
Exactly. A trick is something
Tricks
a
are what
whore
whores
does,
do for money.
money or cocaine.
Or candy.
Right. It had that like at the bottom of the page, and it was orange and white theme. That's what I remember.
I
That's
also
actually-
remember what my theme was.
So on completely unrelated, and like the strings and the ties to bring together all of why I'm remembering this right now are too long to explain on air. But I was with Eddie. You've met Eddie briefly, Lauren, but you know Eddie, Patrick.
Sure.
I was with Eddie today
Loves
at lunch.
Chili's.
He loves Chili's. We were driving to lunch
Terrible
to that
taste in tacos.
to that new ramen place that I sent you a picture from today. And this guy was in like a delivery truck, and he hopped out as we were driving, and he like hopped out into the middle of the road, and I had to like
Hop-ons?
slam on the brakes and squeal around him a little bit. And the dude had on a visor with frosted tips. And Eddie, this was Eddie's quick response was, "Man, Flavortown almost lost its mayor." And I said, I need to remember to tell that to Patrick tonight on the podcast.
Thank you.
I love that.
Okay.
I really thought you were going the direction of hop-ons with that comment, but
No.
that's fine.
Like I said, I can tell you afterwards the connection because there is an Arrested Development connection to that. But that was what we went through.
Sure.
Okay, that's going to be it for our Around the Table. Up next, let's talk about some master categories. The master categories each week. Nope, not week. Let's try that one more time.
The master categories each for first and fourth week, unless there's 5 weeks every other week, but only twice a month.
The master categories each time are when we talk about the dice we rolled the previous time. We pick our categories off of those. No, we pick our topics based off of those categories. And then we talk about them with our mouths to you and your ears. Or your eyes if you're watching this. Or both. And that's how the show works. Lauren.
Yes.
I want to hear you talk now.
Okay, I got it. Okay. So from last time I had tech, and this is always a tough one, but I found this cool video that the title of the video got me, and it's just, why are controller buttons like that? And the kind of like follow-up thought to that is like, because all of the main consoles now, if you look at the controllers, are almost the exact same layout, just with Nintendo switching the A and B. So like, how did it get to the point where like they all look so similar? Because if you do look back, they did at one point all look different, but now they've been a bit homogenized. The really short version of the answer is just everyone steals from each other, but it was kind of interesting to like follow the history that this video lays out, and I will link to the video in the show notes and everything. But basically, like, started out with like D-pad on one side and then an A and B button, so that they could have like a yes and a no, and then the start and select buttons that were in the middle are a carryover from arcade games, because that was how you would have to play those games, and they were just porting them over onto another system. So that's a carryover from that all the way to the present, actually, which is kind of crazy. So it started with that, and then like Sega was the first one to add like an extra button with the like A, B, and C on their controller, and then Nintendo took the crown back with the most buttons by adding the fourth button onto the kind of Super Nintendo controller that I think we are most familiar with. And like, that's kind of the start of like where most things were copied from, was that one, and then the DualShock controller for PlayStation, which is actually just the Nintendo controller with the like kind of grips added on the side, which I didn't know this part, is because that the PlayStation was originally a project for Nintendo using discs for games instead of the cartridges, but like they like very early on they split apart, and so like they had some overlap with like the shape of the controller and stuff, and they just never changed it. They just swapped where the A and B buttons and like did the PlayStation icons, added those grips, and it was like different enough, you know, from copyright standpoint, so they could do that. And that's actually like where almost all controllers are copied then from that template on. There's like more details of like the like now you know, they've added like the logo buttons, and like everyone copied each other for that idea as well. But it was pretty interesting that it's like they just are, you know, quickly stealing from each other, which whatever is the one that's sold the most and people seem to just like the best. And that's the short version. They do get into more stuff in this video, and I'll just link it so you don't have to watch like or listen to me like repeat this whole thing. But they also talk about why Nintendo has those swapped buttons and things like that. Yes, they have pictures. It's a really good little timeline. And it's only like a 30-minute video, so it's actually like really succinct, good history, and they go into more details. There's a couple more like questions I haven't gotten to at the end of like how certain other like traits developed, but I thought this was like kind of a fun thing, because obviously I think all of us have played video games for most of the time that these controllers are being talked about, and they are relatively the same. But it was funny because like on the my work retreat, we played some we were playing Super Smash Brothers on Switch with like their, you know, like regular controllers, but I was used to playing it on N64, which is one of the weirdest controllers, so I couldn't like get used to actually playing it on Switch anymore, because I'm like, this is just not the same. I need my C buttons on the right side for no reason.
I have a feeling that the controllers that I prefer are not the ones other people prefer, but it's because I have big hands.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And my probably number one most comfortable controller was the original Xbox controller.
I knew you were going to say that, because I didn't like it because my hands are small and it's hard.
It had like the big circular,
it's basically like playing
dome.
with this.
It just felt
It's
so
huge.
nice in my. It was like holding a little brick, and I loved it. The second one I loved was the Dreamcast controller.
Dreamcast is one of my favorites. as
The
well.
Dreamcast controller is obnoxious.
No,
Genuinely.
it's wonderful.
What's the
And then
hole
it
in the
also
middle for?
it's for the cartridge that had the additional games on it, which was like a mini
tiny
cartridge in a
screen.
cartridge, or like a
Yeah.
controller in a controller. That thing was awesome.
Huh.
And the controller made.
I was like, I have a
noise
bunch in
and
the other room
showed
still.
stuff.
You have a bunch of Dreamcast
I have those memory
controllers?
cards. The memory cards had no
Oh,
memory
the-
on it, so
the-
they fit like
the
2 games
cards.
each. So I have 4 of them. Like,
Instead of a traditional IRA, she buys Dreamcast controllers.
yes, this is how I've
That's her
invested all my
retirement.
money.
That's her retirement.
My chow gardens are insane, you guys. Oh, but yeah. So that was a cool video, and I will definitely have it linked in the show notes. I'll put it in the chat right now for anyone who's watching and just wants to grab it right now. But really fun
Game Gear.
little.
I loved the Game
Chunky.
Gear. Yeah.
Felt good again. I love chunky.
You like big heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah.
PlayStation controllers always felt too petite to me.
Interesting. Those ones are very like the lightest,
Like
smallest
PS2,
ones.
I think specifically, if I'm remembering correctly, PS2 or PS3, like specifically, felt really small. Maybe they were all the same, and I was just getting bigger at that point.
I feel like 2 and 3 had the same controller from what I remember for PlayStation, but I might be wrong. They probably had variations, and I had the same one. But
I know, Jenny, we're not trying to have the conversation again, but
yeah, we just love Dreamcast. Here on this podcast, we love Dreamcast.
yeah, that's how it is.
It was a great time.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to go next? Let's save Wicked for last. So Patrick,
Okay.
it's your turn.
Beautiful. So while I was celebrating Thanksgiving, we picked up a couple of games from a game store, believe it or not. I did not get to go. I hear it was lovely. But one of the games that we came back with was Deception Murder in Hong Kong. So this game is going on 10 years old. I think it originally came out, 10 years ago, 2014, as I have already stated. Initially, I could just say things straight. I don't know why.
You've got quite a setup going.
I know. So about a decade ago, Deception Murder in Hong Kong was released. And this game is Werewolf, but it's a variation. And I
Okay.
say Werewolf, it's a hidden identity game. That's what it is. But instead of the ones, so in the past, we've predominantly played like Secret Hitler and Werewolf. In this case, there has been a murder. And so there is a murderer. And if you play with all the variant roles, there is an accomplice, there's a witness, there are investigators, and the thing that's particularly interesting is there's a forensic scientist. So in Werewolf, if you play it, you can play with an audio companion, and that companion gives you all the cues and tells you what to do. In this game, you have a forensic scientist who ends up directing the gameplay, but the way they get to play is they know who the not just who the roles are, because they ask the murderer and et cetera to open their eyes and do all those normal routines. But they know what the murder weapon was, and they know what the clue was at the crime scene. So these are the 2 cards that the murderer has to point out as being significant. And what happens is, as the game goes on, the forensic scientist will flip over tiles, and the tile might say something like time of day, location, etc. And they'll each have, like, let's say 5 options on there. The forensic scientists, completely up to their discretion, will place a marker to give a clue to what the murder weapon is and what the actual big clue is to the murder. They have another
So
term
it's
for
like
it.
It's kind of like
in that
Clue.
regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're doing a couple things. One, as the forensic scientist, you get to kind of create a narrative. 2, you're trying to give people hints and direct people to what it is. But 3, you kind of have to know the people that are playing in order to give clues that they will piece together. So there's a full strategy in it. Now, over the course of 3 rounds, people get to wager official guesses. You have to turn in your badge to make a guess. If you guess correctly, the game ends. So the game could end on the first guess, first round. If you guess incorrectly, you're still part of all the discussions. You can still give your thoughts of what you think happened, but you can no longer wager an official guess. And so ultimately the game ends. You're not trying to guess the murder. You're just trying to guess the weapon and the means in the clue. But the game ends either when someone gets it right, or if no one gets it right, then the murderer and the accomplice win, or if you guess it correctly, but the murderer guesses who the witness is, then again, the murderer wins as well. So there's different people have different information. You can't ever just give up your information because you give the murderer an out if you do. But it's interesting to see how the dynamics unfold. So I think it's
I see. Okay, so there's table discussion,
yes,
but it's cloaked table discussion.
because the witness can't give up who they are and say, I saw them, I know that they're the murderer, because then the murderer would out the witness and so thereby killing the witness before trial and would get off with the crime. So the witness knows and cannot say who they are, but will try to push the discussion based on that, etc. So it's actually really, really cool social dynamic. I would say that if right now you gave me the option to play Secret Hitler or Werewolf or Deception, I would choose to play Deception. It's an interesting enough twist on it, and having the role of kind of the color that the forensic scientist gets to add to the narrative that's at play makes it more interesting to me. And there are tons, like the number of murder weapons, there's something like 200 different means of death and like 200 different clues, and you're only ever dealing out 4 per person that's in play. So there's so many variations in what you're going to see, what's going to come up. Some things are very funny and some things are very awkward, and
I see a cigar as one of them.
Yeah, but one of them's like one of them is underwear. Like it's all over the place, but it's very interesting. They have expansions, they have additional games. I don't think they did anything specifically for the 10-year, which again is on or around this time. But I do recommend the game. I did look on Board Game Geek. It's actually the number 11 game in the party category. And I think we did 3 playthroughs. The murderer won all 3 playthroughs, so I'm yet to see the playthrough where the murderer doesn't win. And they have cool variations you can stack on top of it to make it more difficult, or to adjust the difficulty, which is nice as well. We just always played on the more difficult setting. So fun game. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Cool.
I
have questions.
Deeply recommend it. Yeah.
You mentioned the other kind of hidden identity games. A couple of the other hidden identity games we play. Another big one that we play a lot is the Thing, Infection at Outpost 31. If you had to choose between Deception and Infection, which would you choose? Or the Thing?
The Thing.
Yeah, no, I like how you put it though. Deception or
Yeah.
Infection. Okay, so it's funny. Infection, in a weird way, feels like a more of a board game than something like a Werewolf does. I mean, there are hidden identity, yes, but Werewolf feels like a card game more than a board game. And
because it is. Yeah, there's no board. There is a board and there's pieces.
Yeah.
And there's like missions you have to beat like in each room each round. So that makes it a lot with the cards and everything else. Yeah.
So I do like the Thing, but you have to have. I think you have to have at least 5, if not 6, people to play it. And I think the personalities of the people play it really make a big difference.
For sure.
In the game. Whereas I think with Deception, you could play a smaller version because they do have variants. You remove some of the roles, but you could play 3-player, 4-player. But Deception doesn't feel as weighty to be in the murderer role or one of those roles. It just
quicker playthrough too, I'm guessing.
It's 20 minutes to get through a game potentially. Okay. So because of that, it feels more like we can burn through 4 or 5 of these. If I end up being the murderer, so what? It's a short game.
It's like Secret Hitler in that regard, where like you can play a few rounds in a night.
Whereas like the Thing,
that's your evening.
That's
and you've got to really settle into this is what I'm doing now, and if I'm not comfortable with it, I'm stuck here. So that's the only thing. I think the Thing, I've had some really big highs playing the Thing. I've had a couple just plain bad games because of the people or the amount of people,
when you get an hour and 45 minutes in and then somebody is just like, you know what, I'm the other infected person and I'm just tired and I just want to go home now. And then they just give it all away.
So the Thing is a great game. It just, I think,
It's
requires a
people
little
contingent.
bit more to be successful than Deception does.
Okay. All right.
That's fair.
I'd play this.
It sounds fun.
If I say enough sad stuff when we get off of here, will you come tomorrow and we'll play?
I mean, you're going to have to really turn it up, but we'll see.
I was a thespian in high school, Patrick. I can make it happen.
I'll go and start booking my ticket.
Sounds good. That's good.
All right, Deception. Andrew, that leaves what we know you're talking about, which is...
Yeah.
Which is...
So I'm gonna intro
Which
into
is witches.
my yeah, which is I'm gonna intro into my topic by something that resurfaced this week because of the release of Wicked and all the hype around it. A video resurfaced from when Queen Elizabeth died.
Oh.
And when Queen Elizabeth died, the Wicked was on the West End in London, and so the producer came out onto the stage at the beginning of the show and said, "We want to acknowledge this thing, but in light of everything that's happened, we asked whatever, and they want us to continue." I forget exactly how he words it, but then he says, "So the show will go on as scripted," and as you know, Wicked
Yeah.
starts with "Good news." She's
The Wicked, the
dead.
witch is dead.
Like,
Oh my god.
Sure.
and it made me laugh so much. So that was great. So anyway, Wicked, the film adaptation of the Broadway smash hit musical is officially in our zeitgeist, and we've been seeing promotions for it for the last 3 months, heavily for the last 3 months. And Patrick, I know you've not seen the film, but I am here to tell you that the hype is 100% warranted. It is
Yes,
real.
I agree.
It is this movie is absolutely a must see. See it in theaters because it's beautiful. See it in theaters because the sound is so key and important, and see it in the best theater you can. We watched the first viewing of it was just a regular movie theater seat. Becca booked it, so she didn't know how much I only book things in AVX. Sure. And so we went and saw it in the normal theater, and it was good. But then I booked our second viewing of it, which was this weekend, and I booked us center in AVX, and it was just exponentially better. So see this with the best screen and the best sound you can. It absolutely enhances the situation. I don't know that you'd want to see it in 4D. That would be weird.
I don't think you need to. Gladiator is probably the better show.
See how I'm defying gravity. You're just throwing up. So they light you on fire. You know, there's just
just casual 4DX experience.
Maybe leave some of it. Leave some of it.
Yeah, I think Gladiator is the better choice of 4DX experience.
Okay, good.
Go to IMAX or whatever for Wicked.
Or maybe just skip Gladiator too. Like maybe we don't need to see it.
You can just see Wicked twice. It's great.
Yes, I am in favor of that. So the film is breaking, some box office records. I have it here. Oh, I clicked off of it to see Deception.
Great.
They are in their second week. They are the number one film in terms of box office numbers. Number one film that's been adapted from a Broadway musical. And there have been quite a number. Like when I first read that, I was like, that's not a very impressive statistic. And then I started reading through the list. I'm like,
Chicago won Best Picture.
There's been a ton of them. So
Yeah.
the numbers look like this. Domestically, they've made $263.1 million. And globally, they're just shy of $360 million. So they're already over a $250 million. And they're like, 13 days into their run, 14 days into their run, I think, at this point.
I think they're also gonna this movie will be in theaters quite a long time, and because not only are people going back to see it, but eventually they will start hosting sing along screenings and things like that, like they did with Mamma Mia and other things. So
they'll
see it
get my
coming.
money.
Yeah,
they will get my money for those screenings. It was so hard to not sing with this movie.
Yeah.
even the first time. And like
I definitely like immediately put the soundtrack on in the car on the way home. Like
I've been listening to
was
it on
fast.
repeat since
Yeah.
then. But if you're unfamiliar with the story of Wicked, Wicked is the kind of the rest of the story. I'm doing air quotes. The rest of the story of the Wizard of Oz. The other side of the story. It's the story of the Wicked Witch of the West and how she becomes to be that. And the kind of the prequel to the Wizard of Oz story. And I'm not going to give anything else besides that because it would give things away from the film and it would give things away from the stage show. Now, most people have seen the Broadway show at some point
Or heard the
along the way.
music.
Or they've heard the music. Like, this is not something that, talk about like cultural osmosis. You know what I mean? Like this is, you could do this,
Well-
this show in cultural osmosis and people would know things about it without even ever having to have
Well,
seen
especially because it's piggybacking off the Wizard of Oz, so
Right.
kind of the magic is you do already know quite a lot of the story. This is
Yeah.
just the other perspective.
it. Right. And so this if you're going into this movie and you've seen the Broadway show or you're hesitant to see the movie because you love the Broadway show, and there was a bit where that was me.
I
and even-
also have to say that, and I didn't think the trailers looked that good.
Right, and we even talked about a little bit of the scandal ahead of time a few weeks ago from Cynthia Erivo, and some of her personal statements that she made, and I talked about how that may inform just a little bit of my desire to want to do things or whatever. If one of your concerns is you love this stage show so much that this could never find a place in your heart and they could never do as good a job, please set that idea aside because this movie 100% matches what it needs to match in way of the vibe and the feeling. And I would say in a lot of regards actually surpasses the Broadway version of the show. It's almost line for line the Broadway version, at least the first half. If you're unaware,
Right.
this is a 2-half movie. This is part 1. Part 2 comes a year from now. They've already shot it, but it releases
Which is
a
the
year from now.
best part of this movie, by the way. That
It's
they
great.
actually shot it all together and we get it one
We
year
know-
apart, like Lord of
yeah.
the Rings.
Yeah, we know it's happening. It was going to happen anyway, but we're getting it only
know,
a
but it's
year
great.
from now. It's like Infinity War and
It's
Endgame.
like movies used to be.
It's a beautiful return. But if you're worried about it not being the same, it's almost line for line a retelling of the Broadway show with a couple of things
I feel
shifted
like
and changed around.
Yeah, they just added kind of some sprinkles on of like that make it more movie-ish. Is
Yeah.
like the only way I can explain it. Like their close-ups on their face and like they kind of choose to like I think sing some of the words a little more emotionally because you're
Yeah.
seeing their expression when they say it so much and like I don't know. It just felt like extra sprinkles on the cake to me.
It's a-
It
it's a
didn't
little
feel
bit more
like they messed
dynamic.
up the cake. Yeah. Like
Vocally.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you'd think that a Broadway show would feel more like theatrical, but this actually has slightly more dynamics in the vocalization of some of the lyrics. And Patrick, you've listened to the audio from the new movie, but you've not seen the film yet.
That's the thing that I was going to point out is that I've seen the traveling show.
Yeah.
I've listened to the original soundtrack a lot. There's a Tiny Desk concert where the current Broadway
That's a great
performers
one.
actually perform several songs, and one of the writers explains the songs. And like I've watched that several times. I love a lot of the music. I wasn't sure what to expect in terms of what they would do to the music, especially since in the trailer we hear kind of like the iconic high note and it's adjusted. It's not
Yeah.
the same kind
There's
of
a
whatever.
riff on it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so that kind of became well, what's happened in the music? And then when you actually put on the album and listen to it, I think there was a song and a half where I was like, wait, am I listening to the Broadway music or am I listening to the movie music? Because it's almost identical. I'm glad they made that choice.
Yes.
I
Don't get me
agree.
wrong. People can redo music and it can still be good. I think the Elton John movie's a great example of kind of rearranging songs and adjusting their meaning to fit something. But in this case, listening to it, I'm just glad how true it was to it, and that made me even more excited to see the film.
And I think that's the endorsement that I wanted to give, and it's more pure coming from you because you've not actually seen the film yet. But the music, if you were worried, and that's one of the things I was worried about, like how are they going to tamper with the music? How is It's like when they
Or
did the
are
Lion
they going
King.
to? Yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's
like when they did
the
the
Disney
li-
remakes were in my
Yeah,
head because I don't
like
like
there's-
most of their new treatments of the
Exactly.
songs.
And with the
Actually,
Disney
any of them.
with the Disney movies too, this was another thing I was worried about, that they were going to ham fist some sort of agenda, like that the film would become more agendized than the original property that it was trying to emulate. This didn't do that. Now there is
It is pretty political, but
It's
that's
political,
in
but
but that's in the original. It's like
Yes.
exactly the same amount or whatever.
They're not trying to push something new that didn't exist in the original telling of this story. It was always a part of the story, even back to the original, not just the original musical, but also the what's that called? The material, the source material, the book. The book talks about this stuff, right? And about as you can imagine, if you've not seen it, as you can imagine, has something to do with prejudice and people who look different and who act differently, and how people culturally respond to that. This film obviously like hones in on that, but that's not any different than the stage show. It's not any different than the book. And so for me, this is, for your money, this is about the closest adaptation that I've ever seen of a direct from a thing to something new. And for that, I'm excited about it. Now, Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, you know that they're going to be fantastic because
smash it out of the park.
they're magical.
Yeah.
What you don't know about, or maybe you didn't know about, is Jonathan Bailey. He
Just
plays Fiyero,
steals the
who's
show.
kind of the love interest, but in the film, he's so good. And you may remember him from Bridgerton. That's where I first became aware of this handsome gentleman. But man, does he do such an incredible job in this movie.
He also gets paired with the coolest dance sequence where that set is like spinning and everything is so cool. Like just so much fun. That's one of my favorite songs anyway, but I love
Dancing
the
Through
version
Life
that
is
they
a
did.
fantastic song. And I think it's arguably the song that carries the most storytelling in it, because it actually spans so much of not
Well,
just
it's
the
foreshadowing a lot.
It's foreshadowing a lot. It's also telling.
Yeah.
It's also breaking, or lots of characters' story arcs take a major step forward during the process of the song. It's, I think, the longest song in the film and in the musical. So it's cool. It's cool that it has all of these different dynamics to it. But
I will say it's funny listening to the soundtrack and not seeing the film, because by way of how they've mixed the music and the soundtrack, you can tell kind of what's happening on screen. Like you can understand a lot about, we've like zoomed out at this part and this is showing this big thing, and now we've honed in on these two people, and you can just tell from just the mix that you're hearing. Yeah.
Totally. And there is again, without giving anything away, the soundtrack, the Spotify soundtrack, like the official motion picture soundtrack, it truncates the song because there are film bits in between some of these things. And I think it's maybe the most emotional scene in the movie happens in the middle of what's the name of the song?
Dancing Through Life.
Dancing Through Life. I wanted to say Dance for Your Life, and I'm like, that's not it. That's aggressive. But one of the most emotional scenes in the movie, where there's an actual emotional response, and they actually capture it on camera, in camera, a real world response to something that wasn't scripted, and they kept it in the film, and all these things that happens in the middle of this song. And so I can't wait for you to see it, Patrick, because
You have to let us know how many times you cried, because I cried a lot.
I cried more the second time. I cried
less the second time, but like,
but harder.
Yeah, honestly, yes.
So
Some of it was like the surprise the first time, but yeah.
Speaking of surprises, there are a lot of cameos that it's not fair to mention. You may have already heard some of it. You may have already had some of this stuff spoiled for you. If you're listening to the soundtrack ahead of time, some of this will get spoiled.
Something, not obviously. Not
It's funny
everything,
that you
but
listen to the
some things will
soundtrack.
get spoiled
ahead
yet.
because I waited because I was like, I want to see it in the context of the movie just because I know the songs already.
Patrick
but
used
yeah.
to read. Patrick
I
used to
forget that
read
that's how
reviews
you
and
are.
synopsis of movies before he'd go see.
I've already
them,
been watching making of where they show how they built the set.
That's
I
true.
watched that too. Also, can we
it's
please
so
talk
good.
about how much of this movie was practical? Because I
Yeah.
just think that that's always a really cool thing, and I was really surprised how much of it was real.
Like
and then
the
also,
tulip
I think,
fields.
yeah,
The
and
tulip
the
fields.
train to Emerald City, the whole like inside of the
set.
palace there, like it's so cool.
Yeah,
and
Shiz.
yeah, it's
Almost
so
all
cool.
of
and
Shiz is practical.
it's so cool to me because it also makes sense that like why part of the reason that might translate extra well in this case is that it's a set, it's a play, it's like it's this huge dance floor for all of them to work on, and I think that pays off a lot where it doesn't feel fake in a really exaggerated scenario.
And vocally, Ariana
Mm-hmm.
Grande and Cynthia Erivo, they did not sing to tracks; they sang live.
Yeah,
Even-
I have cried
even
just
as-
watching those videos of them like singing live on set. Like they're so good together.
It's wild, and like Cynthia is kind of tethered and harnessed, and she's flipping all around during Defy Gravity, and she's singing. Like they don't
That's
track
why
it.
you get the Oscar, baby.
There's so much about this that feels theatrical. It's so emotionally draws you in, but there are some cameos that are fun and I would love to talk about, but I don't want to say it because I want people to experience it for themselves. There are other ones that you didn't hear, well, you may have heard but maybe didn't pick up on. There are some that aren't quite as in your face as the ones that you heard, Patrick.
John
But,
Stamos.
Jonathan Stamos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blink and
Never
you'll
mind.
miss him, but he's right there.
The Rippers.
It's the Rippers. They're the ones playing.
He's one of the guys behind her in Loathing, the
Yeah,
book
exactly.
tap thing.
Man, Boeing Yang, I knew he was going to be in the story because he's in the trailer and stuff. Patrick, I know you love Boeing Yang.
Stop it. Mackenzie loves
Stop.
I'm not saying
I thought you. I
Hold
love
on.
Boeing Yang. I thought you did
Yang,
too.
Mackenzie loves Bowen Yang.
Okay.
He has grown on me. When I first saw him, I felt like he was more of a throwback and didn't necessarily fit with the cast.
Oh yeah,
on
that's right. You thought he was
SNL.
more Mad TV.
Exactly. Yeah, we
Yes, I
talked about
remember
that.
that. Yes. Yeah.
Like stylistically.
Yeah.
And then over the past 2 years, I've got to the point that I find him endearing now, but
Okay.
I initially did not like him.
Well,
love
just
him.
as a point of reference, I thought we'll see a few moments of him in the film, but that it was just in the trailer. No, he's in the he's in the film.
He's Elphaba.
He has a very prominent role in the film that I
Elphaba.
didn't expect. So anyway, again, I'm not going to give anything else away. I'm just going to give it a rating. I'm going to give this like a 9.5 out of 10. This is by far my favorite movie of the year. We don't have much year left, so I imagine it's going to hold its place there. Phenomenal. I cannot suggest greater for anyone stronger
Okay.
to go see this film. Like you need to see it while it's in theaters.
It's also
and-
there's just so many pretty things to look at. Their costumes are insane. These sets that we were talking about, every detail is beautiful. Like the way
the production,
their hair, like
everything.
everything is so cool.
Everything, yeah, they do a lot, and it's one of those things where you see a thing and you're like, well, it couldn't be better than this, and then you see a result and you go, oh, okay, this was possible. It's kind of like when I'm riding around in a horse and buggy, and I'm like, well, it's never gonna. Travel's
Wait,
never
it's
gonna
like
get any
everything
easier
went
than
from black
this.
and white to color.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And then someone shows me, oh, here, this is the car. Like, oh, that's a thing. This is what this feels like. It feels like a translation from horse and buggy to a motor vehicle. So, Lauren,
Yeah.
what would you get? What would you rate it?
I think I'm gonna go for a 9 because my brother and I talked for a really long time after the movie about whether or not it needs to be a part 1 and part 2, and I'm not a big fan of the part 1, part 2s, but I do think it would have been really hard, and I don't really want them to cut anything out of this
No.
movie because I loved every second of it. I would sit there and watch the next one right after this without any problem, but I don't care about long movies but I still think
A 5-hour movie would have been really difficult.
give me
to
an
sell.
intermission. Give me an intermission. I'll do it.
That's true. That's
The
true. Because
Irishman.
Gone with
Give
the
me a
Wind, Gone with the Wind had an intermission.
Yeah, so if they did this where literally after Defying Gravity you get a 15-20 minute break, I would go.
Yeah, that's true. But this is
I
how
did.
they.
I essentially did it that day anyway because I saw like Gladiator and Wicked together. So I was
true.
like, I'll sit there and watch it. The long movie doesn't bother me, and I do think like they extended a lot of the songs. They could have made it clippier. I do think they might run into some trouble in the second half because there's less songs already in the musical part. It just is shorter. Period.
Yeah.
They can make a shorter movie, and
Yes.
that's also fine. But I am curious how they're gonna if they'll choose to pad it out or. There's a lot there's a lot of material to pad it out with. The book has a lot of other stuff that happens in it,
Right.
or you could just go to Dorothy. There's a lot of options.
Right. There's a lot of stuff they can do. I think it's going to be more cinematic. The second half's going to
Yeah.
be more cinematic and less theatrical.
They still have some great songs in that half too. So I am excited
I
about it.
hope-
It also gets like darker and scarier. Whereas like I saw so many kids at this one, and I was like, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be.
You know,
it'll be interesting.
but they got a year to grow up, I guess.
I'm really hoping second half is done in a similar style to The Lighthouse.
Yeah, it's going to be all black and white,
It's just
and it's going to be
square.
4-3. It's
Elphaba
gonna
and
be-
Glinda are just locked in a tower, and that's the whole movie.
Now, as a final note to this, before we wrap this up, I've seen this in two places. I've seen two different outlets talk about this, and I'm not going to confirm that this is like actually out there. If I see it in 3 or 4, then I'm going to think, okay, maybe
we
this
could
is
be
real.
the third. We could
We
be
could be
change
the
you wanna
we could
see.
be the third. I may be actually solidifying this for myself in the confirmation. But I saw some articles about how Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo have signed on starting in April of 2026 to do an 8-month stint at the Gershwin Theater doing their roles on Broadway in the show of Wicked.
Oh, that's fucking insane.
And they will adapt a couple of the small changes that they adapted for the film will make their way into the actual Broadway show now. So they're going to kind of like cross-pollinate.
That would be insane. I hope they can film it somehow. Like,
So we can have a
'Cause-
movie of it?
no, like,
Well, like
no,
I
so
know
that
what
there's a way to like share it because like that is such a limited time offer.
it'll run
where,
on
you know,
Disney
like,
Plus, and you'll have to buy a subscription to see it. For sure.
I
Totally.
mean, I'm there. I'll watch
would do
like
it.
like Hamilton was what I was thinking. How
Yeah,
it like is a filmed version of the stage play,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm asking for too much. But I just want to. I know I won't be able to afford these tickets, so give me something here.
I'm
Give
gonna
me a
try
little
to afford these
snippet.
tickets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. It's if that happens, that's gonna be. I mean, all 8 months
That's
are
like
gonna sell out
history.
like
Yeah,
that. Like,
that's
it's
insane.
Not, it's gonna be crazy. So anyway, I hope that's true. And now that we're the third outlet, so we just need one more. And
More.
we'll
And
get
it's
it.
official.
So if
It's
one of
official.
you
4
host
out
a
of 5
podcast-
media outlets agree.
Please
Cynthia. Please, Ariana.
Okay. I think on that note, we're gonna roll some dice. That's gonna be the end of our conversation this evening. But let's roll some dice to figure out what we're talking about next time.
All right, I need to pull up the thing.
Autobots.
Oh,
Excel spreadsheet. Assemble.
this is you said Autobots. I'm just gonna say this. I saw Transformers 1. I think that's what it's called. Transformers 1, the animated
Okay.
movie.
Oh, I thought you meant like the first Transformers movies. Like, yeah,
No,
I
no.
saw that one.
No, the animated film that came out, like a month ago, and it has like
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett Johansson and stuff. It is so fun. It is such a good movie.
I got
That's all.
invited to see it, and I didn't. I got a
Transformers
2 and a
last one.
3. 2 was present, and the 3 was my D20.
Okay, I got a 3 as my D20, so we're good.
I got a 3 as my D20. I
Yeah,
just
you
said
guys
that.
have to re-roll.
Oh shit. Okay. All right.
Okay, let's try again. All right, I now got a 4. What the heck?
Well, I got a 1. So you guys have to pick for me.
Okay, and then 4 is games. I got a
w-
17, so I got TV.
A 1 is always trivia.
A 1 and a 20 are always trivia.
And
Are
then
always
a
trivia.
1.
I'll do trivia. I'm
Wait,
good
what
with
was 4 again? Games?
Yes, games.
Nice. Great.
I got TV.
Oh,
that.
okay.
Once you've seen the film, anybody who goes and sees the film, there's a bunch of videos you can watch of Easter eggs. Please go look at the. Oh,
I've
actually,
already watched them all.
if you. Oh, don't do that.
Of course you have.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
just
geez,
kidding.
Patrick.
No, he's telling the truth.
If you've not, if
But
you've
you've
not
also seen the play, so you're not like
Exactly,
getting into
that's
some
true.
huge
I've seen
surprise.
play.
if you've not seen the play and you've only seen the movie, stay away from the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to ruin the full story for you. So there's enough happening there. All right. So You can find show notes and links to what we talked about over in the internet website that we have. That's called www.http://m1.website.
That's so bad.
Dot website.
Website. It's .com.
Creed thoughts.
Anybody?
Homestar wanna.
Thank you. Email. Characters. Tunes. All right.
Is it weird that I preferred Teen Girl Squad?
That was my favorite.
Teen Girl Squad. The cheerleader. What's her face? The ugly one.
Court is no place for a mighty warrior.
Arrowed.
Also remember Trogdor.
I watched a movie. I watched a movie last night called Nutcrackers. It's a brand new movie on Hulu with Ben Stiller. It's shot on film. All right. It is about these four orphaned brothers, and it's he is the uncle, and he has to go and tend to the estate, and he's supposed to help kind of get them settled in with a foster family. Okay, and then craziness ensues. One of the kids is wearing a Trogdor t-shirt. And I was
Trogdor made it.
I was
on
so
Netflix.
excited to see Trogdor on my TV.
Cooper hates it, right?
I love that Strong Bad
He
lives.
doesn't find
like,
it funny. I was so hoping we could bond over that, and he's just like, okay. But the stuff,
Man.
it's not any different than like the
I
stupid
agree.
shit he watches.
I agree.
It's
It
But
is
it's like, yeah,
not
Strong Bad
different.
Email is still funny.
It's not, but it should be. That's the problem.
Exactly. Given the things that he laughs at, I am shocked that he does not love this.
Yeah, it's like the whole they're the same picture.
I've
Corbett wants you to find the difference.
I've already found 8 differences. One of the differences is my dad showed me this, so it's clearly not going to be as
automatic.
funny as my friend showing me this. Anyway, that's it for the episode. You can find show notes and links over at mof1.network, where you can find episodes from all over the years. We've been doing this for over a decade, which is roughly how long Deception's been out, right, Patrick? If I remember correctly.
I think basically that amount of time, yeah.
Basically that amount of time.
Well, I think it's 8 years starting 2 years ago.
Just figuring out more ways to say 10 years. So you can find episodes there. I know we only show up every other week, so there's plenty of stuff to go back and watch on when you're missing us. And I know that you miss us because we miss you, and that means if this relationship is symbiotic, then you miss us when we're missing you. And if not, just don't tell us because that hurts our feelings. But you can share those episodes, and then you can join the Slack conversation. Just find the little Slack icon on the website. Like, subscribe, rate, and review all over the place. You know those things. You don't do it. I'll say it. I'll keep saying it. But you've either already done it or you're not going to do it. And it's just, whatever. We can incentivize however you want. Hey, I'll tell you what. If you have never left a review and you leave a review between now and our next episode, Patrick will send you something of value. It could
Yes.
be even...
And it even tells you the
It has
value
his
on
DNA
it.
on it.
in California, this is 5 cents.
Yeah, it is on the label.
Okay, on that note, we're going to get out of this episode. I'm Andrew.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Patrick.
Peace out, everybody.
Adios.
Bye. 1/2 a
I
score.
really, really wanted you, Patrick, to do the Wicked yell, but I knew you would not do it.
10 years.
I wanted Patrick to do it the most. It just would have been funny.
No.
Patrick, can you try it?
How many years is the score?
Hmm?
Score is 20, so half a score would be 10.
Half a score.
Oh, I was like, what are you asking?
If you,
Half
if you
a
asked
score.
me my social handle, I was gonna say half a score, but I didn't know what he would have got it. So
That's a score.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no.
I almost said a really sad thing. So I won't.
Just trying to convince Patrick to buy more plane tickets.
I won't say it.
Nichols Cancer, California. I went to open nori. We made ramen tonight, and I went to open the package of nori, and I turned it over, and it's like the top thing it said was some I guess it's produced in California or something. So it had a label saying eating this may put you in contact with lead, which causes cancer. Cool, great. Just need I need some seaweed.
Was it worth it?
That's good ramen.
I just clicked
Yeah.
back over to Twitch and I saw the comment from Jedi where he said, "I'm Dreamcast Stan."
A Dreamcast Stan.
I know, but I like the idea that he's just calling himself Dreamcast Stan.
Yeah, that's their forgotten mascot. Like
Gosh.
Sonic was one thing, but Dreamcast Stan was another.
This was a fun one.
Yeah, it was fun.
We still have another episode until before Christmas, so
We do, and
Cool.
also Secret Santa should go out. Everybody has their Secret Santa that signed up, and so at this point, like, I mean, you know who you are, so I don't have to say it on the episode because.
can you tell us who everybody has?
Could I'm not going to.
That'd be
but
fun.
I could.
Honest moment. Oh, that's a real thing. Look him up. Is oh no. Okay. I thought Dreamcast Stan was a real thing.
No.
I thought that I had signed up because you had asked who was interested in doing it, and so I said that I was interested, and then you said
You
that all the
thought
things.
that constituted an agreement.
And
Your
you
verbal
said that all the
confirmation?
things went out, and I'm like, I'm like searching through stuff, and I'm getting ready to message you, and then I saw Mackenzie post underneath, I forgot to sign up, and I'm like, oh no, there was
I
a form.
also forgot, because I pulled it up and I started filling out the form, and then I got a phone call and I forgot about it, and then I didn't finish filling it out.
Lauren, can you be my secret
That's my
Santa,
life.
and I'll be yours.
Okay, perfect.
We'll be each
High
other's
five.
secret Santa.
What's funny is I would have sent. Normally, I would send more updates telling people, "Hey, you have 2 days to sign up. You have 1 day to sign up."
Nope, it's fair. I
But-
fucked up.
The issue is I went to visit Andrew in Texas, and then everything else went out the window. I posted
No,
the
it's
podcast
okay.
like a week late, and
yeah. And I knew it, and I was like, he's sleeping right now. Like, we went out on the town that night.
yeah, exactly.
love
So
it.
I kept getting busy not following up with stuff, and so now that I'm back, now I'm
Back in it, and I just felt like Mackenzie at least owned up to the fact that she forgot to do it, and then I saw hers and was like, oh, I'm gonna stay quiet. I'm not gonna
She
say
looks like a fool.
she looks ridiculous right now.
Are there any
Anyway,
rules or limits for the Secret Santa? I didn't see anything listed. No, not at this point. I mean, you can send whatever you
don't
want to.
send nudes
I guess
unless
that
they
would be a
requested it. I guess I didn't see the form. I don't know what the form says.
rule. No, I don't think there's any limit. I think people are pretty good at what constitutes like a reasonable whatever. So
Yeah.
if
Be
you need that,
reasonable.
I can send you a boundary. But yeah,
Well, we can make a sandbox for you if you need it, but general
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
community like awareness.
yeah. The thing is, we've all done so many Secret Santas. Just follow their rules.
Yeah, go find your favorite Secret Santos.
Just
and
do
that's-
those rules.
yeah.
You'll be great. Bill Gates isn't in ours, so I don't have to. You'll be fine.
Wait, is Bill Gates in one?
He used to be in the Reddit one, and so what he would do is like whoever he got, he would like number one, like he would always send them like something really cool, like here's a PS5 and a new TV. But then he would typically make like a $200,000 donation in your name to like a charity, or he would do something like
Just
that.
send me the
So,
200,000. I'll figure out what charity I want to send it to.
Yeah, that seems really hard.
But yeah, he or his team, I guess, would always do the Reddit Secret Santa. There were some high-profile people that would do it, but they killed Reddit Secret Santa several years ago, so it doesn't happen anymore.
Why is
But
that? Were people sending like body parts and stuff? Like,
It's like
I
someone
don't know.
ruined the fun. That's why.
I don't know why. Like Reddit.
legal shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they have like really specific reasons for why it was
Imagine, if you will, what Reddit could do wrong.
a lot. I'm guessing.
That's what I mean. Like, how did this go wrong?
it's like they killed Secret Santa. They killed the way they did AMAs. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff from back in the day that just doesn't exist anymore. And I'm sure they all have really valid reasons from HR and legal why they did it. But yeah, it's just it's not the same. Whatever. I haven't been on Reddit in several months now, so I don't. I finally broke that habit. So
I'm gonna show you guys something that just came
I was like,
through my.
Arcane has fully brought me onto Reddit once again, because that's one of those
has it?
shows that just pays off with there's so many cool little things in the background and in the animation.
Doc just sent me something that I'm going to share with you guys because we're still alive.
Wow. That's good.
He had prints made
Oh,
of
nice.
the Bride of Frankenstein poster that we collaborated on.
That's awesome.
Wrong. How's this backwards? I'm
There we
trying my
go.
best. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, he had prints made, which it looks fantastic.
That
So I
looks
think
great,
if you
yeah.
want one, contact Doc, or he's putting it on his website or something. I'm not sure. But that looks great.
That's awesome.
All right, everybody. I think it's time to head on out of here.
Nice.
We'll see you. We'll see you in the chats, and then we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys later.
Bye.